In this episode, I'm joined again by my friend Andy. It's our last day on the island of Formentera, Spain. Now, Formentera is a beautiful island just 10 miles south of its more famous neighbor Ibiza. We've arrived at the anchorage called Cala Saona on Formentera. In this episode, Andy will climb the mast to check the rigging before our 2-day crossing to mainland Spain. If you want to skip ahead to the mast climbing, I'll put the chapter markers below. But first, I just want to share with you what it's like here. I want to show you around a bit. My goal is to let you feel like you're here with us and to let you explore our surroundings.
It's probably hard to kind of get the essence of this place on camera, but it's just a paradise. People, if you've never done this type of a vacation before, where you are doing a charter or vacationing in an anchorage like this, you have just people essentially sunbathing, swimming, playing all day. We got a big party barge behind me with big fancy yachts. That one's really nice, called Lex, L-E-X. I think it's $50,000 a week, probably like 10 people on board. My goal here is just to give you the kind of the vibe here, and it's going to be very difficult to do on the camera, but like I said, here's the paella guy again. Everybody's just in a super happy mood, doing water toys, swimming, just laying out on the deck, dinghying back and forth, going over to the beach. Summer paradise. I mean, that's just truly what it is. If you have a chance to do some type of a charter or go to one of these tropical locations, whether it's in the Med, whether it's in the Caribbean, I highly recommend it. It's really a great experience.
It is so choice.
You really feel kind of luxurious for sure, even though we're doing it. The beauty of it is we're doing it on a real budget, you know. He has this boat, Andy has this boat that's didn't cost him a lot, and we're able to have the exact same experience. Well, maybe not the exact same. We're not eating the $400 paella, the lobster paella, but we're having the same type of experience as all these mega yachts, and it's really really cool to experience. Hola. Bueno. Look how clear this water is, absolutely stunning.
We now jump in the dinghy and head over to the beach to explore.
So it's interesting, right here at the beach, we found that these, I guess the locals or whatever would have these boat ramps. Really interesting kind of makeshift boat ramps that they've built to store their little small, just, I don't know if it's fishing boats or just little kind of rowboats to get around the beach. I'll show you what this is all about.
There's Andy's boat that you can see right there. We've made our way to the top of these cliffs near the beach. Let's get back to the boat before sundown so Andy can climb the mast.
So Andy's going to go check up the mast for the rigging, because we're going to go tomorrow. It's going to be a couple-day passage. So we wanted to check the rigging just to make sure everything was good to go.
So this is like a double safety system. I have my rock climbing harness, which I trust in my life, and then I have this bosun's chair, which I suppose I trust in my life, but I like to have two things that I trust in my life wrapped around.
he thought it would be a good opportunity to show us sort of how he does it when he's by himself, because it's a way to go up the mast, essentially, yeah, by yourself. So he's going to explain what he does.
Okay, so we've got a 2-day passage tomorrow, 2 nights and like 1.5 days. It's like a 36-hour passage, and we're going offshore. I think we're about 90 miles offshore. I think it's about 90 miles, something like that, maybe a little bit more. So just going up the mast, we just sort of do like a routine check of the rig. I usually get up here about once every few months. I'm not a rigger by like any stretch of the imagination, but it's just to make sure that there's no obvious signs of rust, to make sure like the strands of stainless steel, none of them have snapped and they're still in good place, and then just to make sure everything's looking okay out there in general. So to do this, I'm usually on my own when I'm sailing, because I'm more or less a solo sailor. If I'm out there, I've got my wife with me who doesn't really sail, so I'm managing the boat on my own, and the maintenance I always do by myself as well. So I use a method of using 2 ascenders descenders, which are pretty basic rope climbing equipment, which is a system where you can slide up by basically doing that, and that's quite simple. And then to lower down, you open this thing up and then it drops back down, and then when you put tension on it, it locks. So I've got 2 of these. I've got one to climb with, which I've attached onto my foot here, and that basically takes my body weight. And then I've got the other one here, which is also on the main halyard, which holds my rock climbing harness in place, which is the one I trust the most. And then I've also got my bosun's chair attached into the same ascender descender, and that's basically for comfort, because the rock climbing harness is it's very strong, but I wouldn't say it's comfortable. It's not a great thing to be sat around in for like half an hour. And then for safety, I also have a backup line here, which is like a typical rock climbing rope, and this is called a Prusik knot. So this is a line which, when there's no tension on it, is pretty free. So as I'm climbing the main halyard here, I will slide this up and down, which moves quite freely. But then if for any reason this thing snaps and I need to rely on this, which is the topping lift for the whisker pole, as soon as you put tension on this, it locks and it doesn't go anywhere. So you fall, it's really tough, and you can, even when there's tension on it, you can fiddle around with it to like bring it down with tension on. So it's a great knot, it's a great backup. So yeah, I've got like quite a few redundancies here for safety. So yeah, I've got a little bag. I'm also going to check the deck light when I'm up there, because it's not really coming on strong enough. So I just want to make sure that I'm getting 12.4 volts up there, or something above 12.4 volts. And yeah, I'm just going to go up, just do a basic check, make sure everything's okay, and then we're all set to leave on our offshore passage tomorrow. So to start off, you make sure that your weight is in the chair or the harness, whichever you prefer. Take your weight off this just by lifting your leg up a little bit. Pull this one up, and then you can stand on this one. So as you stand on this one, you hold on here, you lift your body weight up, and then you go up. And then you can sit back down comfortably in the chair, and then you just repeat that all the way to the top, and then you just remember to take the Prusik knot up with you as you go, because that's your safety, and then go all the way up. So I'll go up. Because I've just checked out the rigging around the spreaders, and that seems pretty safe. So what I wanted to do whilst I was up here as well is check the deck light, because it's turning on but it's not really strong enough. So I just wanted to check how many volts were getting to the deck light, and that would decipher if it was either the bulb that there was an issue with, or there was actually a problem with the electrical connection and how many volts we were getting there. I don't think it's a problem with the volts, because the steaming light, which is also part of the same unit, works absolutely fine. So there shouldn't be an issue with that. But I'm going to use the voltometer or the multimeter or the ohms reader, and I'm going to check how many volts we're getting there. Cool, so I just did a test with the voltometer inside here, which is where the bulb goes in, and we're not getting enough volts. It's turned on, so it should be around 12.4 or a little bit more, and it's not. It's reading like 8, which could suggest a number of different things. So I'm going to have to research that and figure out if it could be a problem inside here. It's quite corroded, so it might just not be getting a great connection. That thing is likely to be 25 years old, and never changed. It looks like it's been on there for quite a while. It's got like the original rivets in, I think, as you can see there's a little bit of corrosion around them, around there. So yeah, it could just be a new one of those that's needed, which isn't a big deal. I think you can get like a really good LED one for now for like $80 or something like that. So yeah, that might need changing out, but I'll do a bit of research and figure out exactly what I need to do with it. And yeah, I'll just climb up the rest of the mast and make sure the rest of the rigging is okay. So I just checked here, these look all good, and then I check the connections there. So this looks good, so now I'm just going to head to the top, just check right up there, make sure they're okay, and then we're heading back down. It's a little bit breezy and it's quite swelly, like you can see. We've got like a little bit of swell coming in from the ocean there, so yeah, if you're going to do this, probably do it in a marina or do it in like perfectly still conditions, because it does make it like quite a bit harder when you're moving around. You have to like use your feet to keep a good grip on the mast so you don't go swinging all over the place. Cool, so I've come to the top now and I'm just checking the last pieces, which is like here and here. So they're pretty dirty, but there's no like obvious signs of failure. So there's no corrosion on here, just a bit of dirt. So you've got like a little bit of surface rust there because it's stainless steel, but that usually polishes off. So if you get like a rag and some stainless steel cleaner, that usually comes straight off. So what you're really looking for is like breaks in the strands or little cracks forming in the strands, and just like any obvious signs of like deep rust where the wire meets whatever type of connection you've got. Different sailboats have different connections up there. We've got this, but yeah, it's a pretty good opportunity to come and get like a unique view. Everything looks a little bit nicer when you're on the top. There's the bird's perspective. Yeah, so these are like, this is pretty basic in terms of rock climbing equipment. These things have been around for quite a while. When you want to come down or you want to descend, what you would do is put your body weight on this one, have your leg there, so that then you can take the tension off here. When the tension is off, you pull the little lever back and then it's free. So it's free to come off if you want, but you just then lower that, clip the tension back on, then you sit down. Once you've sat down, you then take the tension off that one and then you move your leg down.
Okay.
So basically in the reverse order. Cool, everything looks really good up there. Rig looks fine, like there's no obvious signs of corrosion. All the stainless steel strands look like they're in really good condition and they're still connected really well. The deck light unfortunately is getting like 8 volts, so there's a problem there. I need to do a bit of research on it. I don't know why, because the steaming light which is attached into the same unit is fine. It does look quite corroded inside, it's aluminium, and it does look a bit nasty, so it might be a case of I just need to switch it out and get a new one.
After a hard day's work, well, for Andy anyway, we head in for some dinner. For our last night before the big crossing over to the mainland Spain, we decided to go ahead and go out to a nice dinner, but this is actually a beautiful place. Cala.
Yeah.
Perfect restaurant, gracias.
Yeah. Thank you.
What's your name?
Mark.
Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Very good waiter.
Thank you so much.
Gracias. Buena suerte in your career. Probably can't see me. We're just walking on this cliffside, going back after dinner, and all of a sudden these fireworks just start going off in our face, about 20 feet away. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week, and I'll leave you with some more fireworks.